Today we're gonna mount the Konig Ultraforms on my car, the Suzuki SX4. The last video I unboxed the wheel, and I was gonna get another set of wheels in, the Motegi Tracklight 131s. But after I made that video, I got an email saying that wheel is still on back order for about another 3 weeks or so. Wasn't gonna wait that long to figure out which wheel to run, so I went ahead and got my tires mounted up on the Ultraforms, and that's what's going on my car for now. So the tires, Firestone Firehawk Indy 500 tires, 245 45 17, going on a Suzuki SX4. The setup will fit, as I ran the same setup about a month and a half ago for about a month. I bought some used tires to mount on a different set of wheels that I had, which I sold, and it clears and handles pretty good and stuff. But now we got the real tires, so we're gonna go out front and show you guys how to properly mount these wheels on, and then we'll see how it looks on my car afterwards.
Okay, go.
Okay, now we're at the front of my garage. The car is just behind me there. So these are the tools we're basically going to need to use to put those Konig wheels on our cars. Not shown in the video right now is my jack, because right now it's slightly lifting up my car. So make sure you have a proper torque wrench. Make sure you have a ratchet, 1/2-inch drive preferably, with the appropriate sockets, possibly extensions you might need so you're not scratching your wheels or your car. Different wheel nuts, because those Ultraforms need small diameter tuner nuts. I have a package here that I used on my last set of wheels, so I don't need to buy new ones. Appropriate hub rings. Make sure we get the wheel nice and centered on the hub to reduce any possibility and chance of vibrations. There's 3 of them here because one of them is already on one of the wheels, so I was test fitting them just to make sure I get the right ones. And of course our ever important tire pressure gauge, so we get the right pressures on the tires before we start driving on it. All right, so let's get underway. Okay, so we got the front of the car jacked up. I did the one side already, so now we'll film the other side that I'm going to put the wheel on. So before we put the wheel on, there's our hub ring, right? This particular hub ring goes in the back here because this bore on the wheel is much bigger than the hub on my Suzuki. So basically this ring will put it back down to the proper hub size to go on the car, and that way we ensure that the wheel is centered on the vehicle and there's no possible issue of having vibrations or balance problems when driving down the road. So this one is basically 73.1 mil for the wheel hub down to 60.1 on the Suzuki, right? And all we do is just, it's a nice snug fit. Just push it in there. Make sure it seats properly all the way around. Go over it a couple of times if you have to. Just make sure it's seated nice and tight. And that way now you ensure that the wheel is properly installed on your car, and the face here will mount directly to your hub on your rotor, and there's no issues. All right, so let's go over there and we'll put the wheel on. Okay, so let's put this wheel on the Suzuki. So make sure you line up your bowl holes. Okay, and there it's on. Sometimes use your knee to hold the wheel in place if you have to. And then carefully start your wheel nuts. Always make sure they thread on nice by hand. Some people like to use their impact tools. I have them too, but I like to do things by hand just to make sure everything goes on nice. Basically get them started, all of them. Once you get one of them hand tight, then just do the same for the rest of them. Do it in a crisscross pattern. just make sure everything is seated nice. And then once it's on, just give it a little snug before you drop the car down. All right, and then now we'll just drop the car down just enough so that the tire touches the ground, and then we'll get the torque wrench and then we'll properly torque the wheel nuts up. Okay, so okay, so now we got the car just lightly on the ground. It's the tires touching the ground. The car's still lifted up slightly. I don't want to put the full load of the car on the wheel nuts yet because it's not properly tightened up. So the jack's still supporting the car, and now I'll go ahead and properly tighten the wheel nuts. I have my torque wrench, and on this particular vehicle, the torque is 65 foot-pounds. It sounds low, but that is the spec for this vehicle. So check the spec on your vehicle and make sure you always use a torque wrench and tighten it no more than what the manufacturer recommends. So you tighten it, you hear that click, then you move on to the next one, again in a crisscross pattern. It's always good to hear that click, and you know it's properly torqued up. And that's it. Okay, so the both front wheels are on and they're properly torqued up. So now I'm going to drop the car down. Keep in mind that the car is not settled yet, so it may look a little higher than what it should be until I drive it. And that's what it looks like right now. And after I drive it, it will probably drop down a little bit more. The car has lowering springs, so this car is lowered and it has an alignment done on it. I'm running about -1 degree camber, stock caster, and just 0 toe. So now I'll get to work doing the back ones, and then I'll come back and we'll have the final finished product